WEFM On Demand.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
It's time to trade in that old living room set for a brand new one at Courts. For a limited time only, get 25% off any living room set with your trade-in. It's easy to take advantage of this offer. First, take a photo or video of your old living room furniture. Next, go on down to your nearest Courts store and purchase your new living room set. Then, we will deliver your new living room set and haul away the old one at no extra cost to you. No cash, no problem. Pay with Courts Ready Finance and you pay nothing for 30 days. This is a deal you don't want to miss. Supplies are limited. Act now. Conditions apply. Courts, bringing value home. Offer does not include Ashley living room sets.
Welcome back to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, there is no data that suggests a significant link between crime and poverty in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, says Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. This was in response to a question asked during the House of Assembly on Monday. Prime Minister Gonsalves referred to the matter of a possible link between crime and violence and poverty as complicated. We hear more from the Prime Minister.
There's no data we have available which show a significant connection between crime and violence and poverty. No significant connection. Clearly, Madam Speaker, there are persons who may steal because they are in a situation of poverty. But there are persons who are in situations of poverty who don't steal. So the matter is a complicated one. And there are correlations which are shown between particular gender and particular ages, particular crime. Persons who may be found in associational groupings or within a particular culture of criminal activity, and so on and so forth.
The Prime Minister then proceeded to provide statistics of reported crimes from the year 2018 to 2021, which saw the numbers decline over time.
The total number of crimes, and we are dealing here with reported crimes, clearly. In 2018, 6,065. 2019, 5,385. 2020, 5,148. 2021, 3,995. In relation to crimes in which women were victims, 2018, 785. 2019, 752. 2020, 653. 2021, 472.
That was the Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. Prime Minister Gonsalves said that issues related to homicide are taken seriously by the government and that an array of strategies and tactical approaches reflect this position. The increased presence of seaweed in local waters in recent times is causing significant wear and tear on the boat engines of fisherfolk of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is according to Minister of Agriculture Subota Caesar, who was at the time responding to a question from MP for the Southern Grenadines, Terence Oliver, on what measures the government had taken to mitigate the effects of the influx of seaweed. Minister Caesar said the government is aware of the issue of the increased numbers of seaweed and its impact on not only tourism, but the fisheries sector, going on to discuss some of the measures that have been taken to lessen the impact. He listed measures such as the activation of this seaweed invasion task force to advise on the management of seaweed. According to the minister, the task force consists of representatives from the Ministries of Agriculture, Transport and Works, Health, and the National Rivers, Beaches and Parks Authority. He also made mention of the National Action Plan for the Influx of Sargassum Seaweed in SVG, which was created in 2015 and outlined the early responses, which included an outreach program and sensitization. Caesar said that the private sector was approached to assist in this endeavor as the government would be unable to hire workers to clean seaweed on a daily basis, and then use the opportunity to call on the private sector once more for assistance, emphasizing the need for this partnership. Still on the local scene, All laboratory services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are currently being decentralized so as to adequately accommodate the Vincentian public. Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, St. Clair Prince, said this extension of lab services will provide increased access and equity. We hear more from the Health Minister.
From time to time, the lab is unable to provide a particular testing service primarily because of instrument downtime and or reagent stock out. These are occurrences that will generally affect lab operations, be it public, private, national, or otherwise. Whenever a test becomes unavailable at one lab site for whatever reason, the public is advised to seek services at another public lab. There is another clinical lab at the MMDC, as outlined by the question. That's at the Georgetown Center, with 4 more lab testing sites being developed, with plans to make them operational by the last quarter of 2022. The 4 lab sites are Buckerment Bay Polyclinic, Levi Latham Health Center, Union Island Health Center, and Canawan, at a location to be determined.
That was the Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, St. Clair Prince. Minister Prince said that the strategy is to build laboratory services that are resilient, accessible, equitable to all Vincentians. He was speaking at the sitting of the House of Parliament on Monday, July 25th. On to news in the region. Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown says countries in the Eastern Caribbean affected by the 2009 collapse of the Trinidad-based colonial life insurance company CLICO could file a US $60 million lawsuit against the government in Port of Spain to recover funds owed to policyholders. He told radio listeners that Trinidad and Tobago had made a commitment to pay US $100 million to the countries of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, the ECCU, but has not kept such a promise. Possibly, we may eventually have to sue the government of Trinidad and Tobago because, as you know, they had agreed to provide a settlement of US $100 million. They paid about US $40 million, and the balance of US $60 million remains unpaid, Prime Minister Brown said during his radio show over the weekend. Brown, who has taken over the chairmanship of the subcommittee on the insurance in the ECCU, said significant progress has been made in recovering some of the investments in CLICO made by residents of the Eastern Caribbean. 1 of 3 men accused of the 2020 murder of 2 sisters from Mona Commons in St. Andrew, Jamaica, was denied bail when he appeared in the Home Circuit Court on Monday. Bail application for David Foster was denied due to the serious nature of the case. He was also denied on the ground that no safeguards could be put in place by any presiding judge because multiple addresses were given as his place of abode. Foster and his co-accused O'Shane Plummer and Sean Clark are to return to court in November this year, where the matter will be mentioned for plea and case management. Bail applications for Plummer and Clark were denied on previous occasions. Sisters Tiffany Hunter and Renee Martel were shot dead in their yard in Mona Commons, St. Andrew, Jamaica on Thursday, September 17, 2020. The murder happened on Hunter's birthday. On the international scene, Japan has executed a 39-year-old man who killed 7 people in Tokyo in 2008 during a stabbing rampage. Tomohiro Kato committed one of the most shocking mass murders in the country's recent history. He was 25 when he drove a truck into a lunchtime crowd of pedestrians at Akihabara shopping district, killing 3 people. He then stabbed passers-by with a dagger, killing 4 and wounding 8. He was apprehended by police at the scene and later admitted his crimes in his trial, saying he had been angered by online bullying. The crime sparked much debate in Japanese society at the time over random killings, online influence, and the failures in mental health support for young people. Laws on knife ownership were also tightened in response. And finally, in sports, 7 players in Australia's National Rugby League (NRL) will boycott a key match over their team's decision to wear a gay pride jersey. On Thursday, the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles will become the first team in the competition ever to don a kit which promotes LGBT inclusivity in the sport. But players weren't consulted, and some object to the move on religious and cultural grounds. The club apologized for its handling of the situation. Coach Des Hasler said the club had made a significant mistake that had caused confusion, discomfort, and pain for many people, in particular those whose human rights were they were in fact attempting to support. In a press conference today, he apologized to the LGBT community and to players involved. This has been WeFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 p.m. for WeFM's 3 p.m. News. WeFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Quartz, St. Vincent Limited.
Sensational savings are here this summer at Quartz Optical. Get a free pair of designer sunglasses with your glasses purchase. Now that's sensational. Free sunglasses and your glasses, and you can get it all with no cash. Choose from our flexible credit terms from 3 to 24 months to repay. At Quartz Optical, the savings are sensational. You don't want to miss these deals. Conditions apply. See in store for details. Quartz Optical. Value you can see.